It's gonna be good. Good vibes.
Cool.
We're finally all set up now. We're good. So, first question. A lot of people have clothing companies, okay?
Okay.
What do you think is one of the hardest things to like set yourself apart from everyone else?
I guess the way that you would go about promoting or advertising your brand. I think everyone kind of does the same things. So I think that's one of the ways that would really set yourself apart from other people.
How often do you like shoot? Like all that kind of stuff?
It's kind of random.
Yeah.
I'm just getting into doing that, honestly. So I just did one June 30th. That was really fun.
You just dropped that line, right? Yeah, I was just looking at that. I wanted to say that that one orange shirt was really cool.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I like a couple of those. In the hoodie, I think maybe he was wearing it. That black hoodie, or one of the guys was wearing it. I like that one a lot.
Cool.
Me and him were sending it to each other.
Thank you.
But yeah, I like the name a lot. I think the name's
Yeah.
Let Them Know.
I was about to say, I think that's like what sets it apart and like that type of style. Like I'm not an artistic person, fashion. I wear clothes that are comfortable. I'll just recycle the same things as long as it's clean. I'll wear it, you know. So to like set it like that apart, like have your own style, and I thought it was pretty cool. That's what like immediately caught my eye. Obviously, like we've talked in the past and stuff, so I kind of knew that you were, you know, like a down to earth person. I was like, so kind of see how that relationship like evolved to where it is now. And I was just like, when I told him, I was like, we gotta get around. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
We gotta reach out. Yeah.
It was a must. You're one of the few people that's like doing something, you know, like real creative, and like when I look at like some of the clothes, it reminds me of like the early early 2000s, like late 90s, like the airbrush, like tees and stuff like that. That's what it kind of reminds me of, you know.
Yeah.
I really like
I
that.
definitely grab inspiration from that time period a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all late 90s kids, right?
I'm 2000.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm
No.
That's
97.
kinda
I'm
cool.
holding on. I'm holding on.
Yeah, it is
Start
cool.
of a new
Start of
generation,
right.
yeah.
Start of the whole new century.
Yeah.
So were you like very artistic, like when you were younger, like always doodling and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Definitely. I've always been artsy. I've always painted, made outfits, like made my Halloween costumes every year,
Nice.
stuff like that.
You were athletic though too, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you played sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. I played almost every sport.
I think most people that are, I think it's kind of like a related thing. I think people that are talented like one way, like either athletically or creative, it always seems like it kind of matches up like a lot of times, you know. I don't know if you ever notice it, but like some people, great athlete, and then they'll be like crazy on, you know, microphone or whatever, trumpet, whatever it is. It's like if you're good at one thing, you can be good at a bunch of stuff. That's all.
I think it's like once you have like that discipline for sports, it's like it transitions into so much more. Like you can like dedicate yourself going to practice like day in and day out. Like coming from like a football background, like Monday through Friday, you're either before school, after school, or sometimes both. Like it definitely sets like that whole like discipline going forward. So I think that kind of like translates well to like what you're doing now, because obviously you put in good quality, you're gaining traction and stuff like that. So it's like it's nice to see like from transitioning from like a sports perspective into like something like business and like what your real hobby is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I would say a lot of it is a mindset. Like when you do sports, you know, you want to reach this goal or win this game or whatever. So I feel like that translates into having your own business. You want to reach this goal or whatever it may be, reach this many followers.
That's the truth.
Yeah. So I definitely think it is a mindset.
Now, do you compare yourself like a lot? Obviously, like being like a little bit younger, like 21 in that age. Do you like oftentimes like find yourself comparing yourself to like your peers, like other people that are 20, 21, people that you went in the same class with and stuff like that? Like, how do you think like you stack up?
I definitely compare myself frequently.
Yeah.
It's hard not to in today's world, I feel like, you know. It's all like a competition of some sort, you know. It's the truth.
I don't know. I don't think that I'm better or worse than anyone in my age group or anything like that. I feel like everyone's doing their own thing and they're on their own path. I think I have a hard time when it comes to other business owners where I'm like, they look like they're doing so well. Like, I don't feel like I'm doing as well. But then they'll come up to me and be like, you're doing so well. I wish I was doing that well. And I'm like, oh, we all just feel the same way. So that's what I would have to say about that.
Right. Now, how do you like divvy up? Like, obviously, like you have your website, you have the LLC. Like, how do you are you like hands-on in all the kind of operations, like the day-to-day, like you're shipping out orders, you're doing the website, everything? Is everything solely done by you, or do you have like people that help you?
I've done every single thing except for take the photos for my last photo shoot.
Wow.
Yeah. Before pictures, all of that was me editing, creating the pieces, ordering them, shipping everything out, building the website, managing the Instagram. I've done everything. It's been a challenge.
Yeah.
I've learned so much. I love doing it though. But yeah, so I've done everything.
What do you think the hardest part of the whole operations is?
Not falling off in one area.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll make amazing pieces and maybe I won't update my website as much as it should be, so I can't display it as well as it could be displayed or something like that.
Right.
So I think just being able to manage all aspects of it to its fullest capacity, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Are there any like local people or like people that were doing it kind of around here that you looked at, or anybody that kind of like inspired you? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of my inspiration doesn't even come from the clothing brand industry or whatever you would
it's just
call
more
it.
so like other aspects of life.
Yeah,
right?
just people I see. My mom just hustling every day, stuff like that. My friends, my friend Gianna just got into real estate. That's so inspiring to me.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, just it's kind of everyday things
That's how I try
that
to-
you would say would be everyday.
Mm-hmm.
That motivates me. Nature, I love nature. That inspires me a lot. The way that the world works, God, a lot of my inspiration comes from Him.
Right.
And I give thanks for that because that's.
See, I know he's gonna look over. See, what did we talk about beforehand?
Yeah, we were just.
You need some
speaking
God
about
in your
that.
life, dude.
I told you.
Firm believer.
Yeah.
I'll dive in a little bit more on that. Like, so like being like a Christian or oriented person, like being spiritual, like how do you think that like plays into like your business? Do you like you just sit down and like sometimes like pray about it? Do you like really like go into like a meditative state and be like, all right, I have to manifest. I have to make X amount of pieces. It has to be out by this time. Like, what's your kind of process and how does that go together?
I definitely pray about like everything in my life.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. And I really visualize, I get visions of things that I wanted to do or ideas that come to me, and then I'll pray about them. And it's like, I really wanted to do this. Since I was a kid, I wanted my own clothing brand. I've prayed about that. And and one day I wake up and I'm like, wait, I have one now. Like, that's really weird. It may not be where I've always envisioned it to be, but the fact that I have one in general is insane.
Yeah. And something to be thankful for and all that.
Yes, exactly. And I'm so young still. But I definitely pray about everything. And even my photo shoot that just happened, I prayed about that and then got the opportunity to have one shortly after. And I was like, whoa, this is insane.
It's cool to look back on, you know, all the things you wanted to do and you're doing them now, like you're saying. You kind of like, you pray about it, you talk to God about it, you see what happens sometimes, you know? That's how I feel.
So you think manifestation's a real thing? Like, you know, you speak it out into the world so much, like it's eventually going to happen?
Definitely. I think positive words, like how we just talked about, like, oh, I want a photo shoot, I want a clothing brand, has just as much of an impact as negative do. So you speak, oh, I can never do this, I can never do that. That's equally as powerful as speaking the good things. So a lot of people are like, oh, I can never do that. How do you do this? And I'm like, well, look at the words that you're choosing. And that
so big.
It is. And it breaks down even to just what you believe of yourself and what you believe you can do or create. It's bigger than that. I think the words that we speak are super important.
Yeah. Now, like, kind of like, you know, expanding upon that, do you think like most of the problems that like we have like with this, like within society, people like being more divisive than ever, do you think it's more of like a lack of like a religious base, people are like falling out of that sort of spiritual mindset, or do you think that's just how the world's eventually going to go to?
I think it has a lot to do with what we consume. I just recently deleted all of the apps off my phone because I can't
I do
deal
it
with
sometimes. Oh yeah, just like it's overwhelming. I'm done.
And I'll realize
it's so much.
I'm a very sensitive person, and I'll get in these moods where I feel like doom and gloom, and the world is gonna explode. And I realize, okay, well, what have I been reading? What have I been looking at every day? So, just as much as I said words are powerful, so are thoughts. Thoughts then become words. So, I think the media has a lot to do with that, and making you feel like so much is going on that may be negative.
Right.
And your perspective, you feel like, oh, it's everywhere. That's the only thing happening is this evilness.
Yeah, literally. Everything's bad. You're just like, man, is there anything good in this world? Well, there obviously is. It's just like when you're online sometimes, that's what it seems like. You're like fighting to see good stuff. You know? It's just the negative's what sells, and that's what everybody likes, it seems like, you know?
Yeah, that's what I think is like just so cancerous for our society as a whole.
Yeah.
It's like everyone just
negativity really spreads quick. Like
and if you like spread positivity, you're like looked down upon. It's so crazy. Like you're like a weirdo, you're like an outcast. Why are you thinking like that?
Right.
Yes.
Why do you like God? Like, what are you doing? Like, don't you realize, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's different.
It's different.
But it's important.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's important to be that light. That's something that I've always tried to be in my life.
Yeah.
Now, how did you come up with that name? Like, what does the name mean to you?
Let them know.
Yeah.
So I came up with that my freshman year of college. So like 3 years ago, I prayed about it. And I was like, okay, God, I know there's something bigger for me right now. And I'm not sure what you want me to do or which way I should go with it. You know, I've always wanted a clothing brand. But the name is really important because that's what's going to last. And I don't want it to be something that I'm into right now, and then in 3 months I'll be like, oh, why did I pick that?
Yeah.
So it honestly came to me in prayer, and I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Now what does this mean to me? And I've always been someone who's wanted to make a positive impact on others and let them know I love them. That's like one of the biggest things.
That's cool.
Let them know about God or just anything in general. It's also a name that I believe you can make your own interpretation to it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, whatever you stand by, you can make it your own. I just forgot what I was going to say.
No, I really like that. I think that was a great answer, honestly.
Like, obviously, like, we're doing our, like, DD, trying to, like, figure out, like, what kind of questions we're going to ask you. Like, the whole, like, blurb that you have on your site, like, let them know, like, spread positivity.
A lot of those words were good, like the things she was saying.
Yeah.
I remember reading that little paragraph.
Yeah, I feel like ours, like, you know, like, the Let's All Talk stuff and, like, the stuff that we go, like, on the side, we kind of have, like, the same, like, direction kind of goal. Like, we do this because I just want to, like we were saying before, like, I want to know, like, different people's, you know, point of view, opinions on things.
Like-minded people, different people. It's good to talk, you know? Because a lot of people don't talk anymore, you know? If you don't like someone for one reason or one view, it's like it's over.
Yeah.
So we're kind of trying to change that a little bit.
I spoke with him earlier and how I said it's interesting that you are able to have friends that may not agree with everything that you do, because usually if someone doesn't agree with you, people aren't friends with them.
Right.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And that's not good. You need to be challenged in some way to really keep your perspective.
Can't only be around or seeing people like that, like, only have your views. Like, you'll just have the worst view of the world.
It's just harmful.
It's just like an echo chamber. I don't want to hear the same things all the time.
Right.
Like some of the stuff, like I was saying before, like politically we're very similar, and then like with the religious thing, you know, we're kind of just we're in two different ballparks, to be honest. So it's like it's interesting to see how like
it is.
You know, we can interact with one another. We each want the same goal. Like obviously we want this to be a big thing. You know, we have to start at, you know, square one and eventually move on. But what I wanted to ask you was, you know, have you lost friends, like being a very like spiritual, religious person? Have you lost friends along the way or gained new friends because of that fact?
I don't know if that's necessarily the factor in losing some of the friendships that I've lost. I think it boils down to us just not wanting the same things for our life and realizing, okay, you were amazing for this season of my life, but you weren't supposed to last for the rest of my journey. You know, like, that was an awesome time we had together, but I'm going this way and you're going that way, and that's okay. And sometimes we might meet again, but sometimes we might.
Yeah, right.
So I think it has to do with just everything, not just the faith factor.
Yeah. I want to ask you this too. So, like, obviously being, like, a female in, like, the society that we live in now, do you think it's more, like, sexualized than ever? Like, an emphasis is, you know, put on, like, girls, like, on their looks, on their body and stuff like that, more of, like, a physical asset, a tangible asset than, you know, like, the personality, the creativity, and their intelligence? Do you kind of, like, feel, like, the same way? Yeah.
I mean, you could go on Instagram, for example, and a bikini picture will have 20,000 likes, and a regular picture will have 2.
Yeah, you're with your dad, 20 likes.
Yeah. So it's really messed up because even the algorithms on that play into that. It. Yeah, and it even TikTok and dances and stuff like that. It breeds you to want to do those things because you want that reaction.
Right,
you want to have likes.
Attention.
You want that brain boost. You know.
Yeah, I spend like 5 minutes a day sometimes, like just like on like Instagram or like the TikTok. Like the Instagram has its own like reel type thing, and I just be looking at some of that content sometimes, and I'm just like, oh my god, like this is what people do every day. Like it's like wow, but like that, you know, more power to you. That's your hobby or whatever it is, but. It's just very funny. Like some people do spend their whole life just on their phone all day.
Yeah, like I'll be like sometimes I'll be laying in bed at night right before I go to sleep, and I'll just notice like I'll go on TikTok for a little bit, and then it's just like it's just mindless scrolling, just keeps going, it just keeps going. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get off this. It's
you
just
don't even realize how long it was, especially because the videos are so short. You don't think
and you just keep going, you just keep hammering it away. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh yeah.
Do you like any certain type of like movies or music that kind of make you feel creative, or you know, make you just feel a certain type of way?
Always when I was creating, I would always listen to Kid Cudi and Frank Ocean and like Channel Orange and Blonde like on repeat, like for 16-hour days, just in my studio, just working and not even realizing I've listened to it for that long.
Wow.
But I don't know, movies wise, I don't really watch movies a lot.
Okay.
But I love movies with good messages. I love The Blind Side. That's like one of my all-time favorite movies.
So. That's a good story.
Makes me feel good now.
Yeah, I love that movie. I feel like I have a intense emotional reaction when I consume things. Watch.
You're really like into it.
Yeah, I really feel for the people in there. So I try not to watch too many things maybe that are horror or
someone has good story and all that. It really like hooks you in.
It really does affect me. They'll pop up in my dreams. So I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the same way for sure.
And no horror movies before.
Yeah.
Like we seen The Black Phone. It just recently came out in theaters. Me and my girlfriend went and seen it, and she was up the whole night. Yeah, it's like I can't go to sleep. I have to go to sleep on the
Gotta be careful about that content you consume.
You have to.
Seriously.
Now, like the whole when you look at the whole fashion industry as a whole, like what direction do you think we're gonna go in? Because obviously like styles changes and like you know people's tastes differ as time goes on. Like where do you like in the next 5 to 10 years? How do you think like your brand will evolve, and like how do you think like your competitors around you will react?
So, I really want to become more sustainable. Sustainable in my work. And right now I use blanks that are made in the U.S. by workers that are being paid livable wages. That's a big thing for me because I don't want to support like child labor overseas or anything like that. But I want to become more sustainable. I would love to start creating my own pieces 100% from scratch. That's something I do for myself, but I do not sell those pieces yet. I want to make sure when I put it out, it's 100% good quality, will last a very long time.
Right.
Yeah. So it's figuring out that right now. As far as competitors, I'm not really sure. I feel like it could go one of two ways. Like continue going the fast fashion route, coming out with 30,000 trends a month, like styles, and just ending up in landfills.
Is that really how it kind of works? Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Shein and stuff like that, they use like harmful chemicals and materials that are not good for the environment, for the consumer, for the people working on them.
So are there certain things you could be wearing that are actually like harming your health and stuff? Like the materials are made from and stuff? It's kind of like food.
Yes. Plastic. that goes for like food, products that we use on our bodies, and shampoos, stuff like that. It's in everything now.
So you're mindful of that?
Yes.
That's good.
I've really been trying to be in this chapter in my life, just looking at what's in the things that I'm using, because it has long-time negative effects.
Yeah, we talk about that sometimes, like the food, and, you know, I mean, you could even say drugs nowadays, like, you know, shouldn't be doing them, but certain stuff is just so dangerous nowadays. Yeah. It's crazy. All the stuff you're around all day, like these objects and, you know, chairs you sit in. Yeah, it's weird. But I was going to ask you as well, fashion-wise, is it kind of like becoming more so people rather would dress like comfy over like formal, or like what makes something like popular? Like, how does a trend like develop in your opinion? I know it's kind of a hard one to probably answer, but like, what do you think it is?
I think in this day and age, the right person has to be wearing it.
Okay.
I think we are very influenced by influencers.
I see.
Seriously, social media has a huge grip on just everyone in the world right now. It really doesn't matter how old you are. You've got the grandmas on Facebook. You've got the preteens on TikTok. So it really doesn't matter. I think it's just got to be the right person wearing it, and people follow.
That's interesting. Do you have, is there anyone special that's ever worn yours that you felt like it was famous or anything like that? Like,
literally anyone who's worn my clothes.
Yeah, you like.
I just really appreciate. I'm so grateful for anyone that's put anything that I've made.
I feel the same way. Like people listen to my music or whatever it is, you know, little video of you, you know, it makes you feel good. You feel like you. So thank you for that.
Yeah, because they don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
They can easily not.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm a big believer in that. If you don't like someone, or you don't like, you know, what their music is, I mean, don't listen to it. That's on your power, you know. And if you like it, enjoy it.
Right.
I wanted to piggyback off his question. At what point, like, let's say 5 to 10 years down the line, you blow up massively. You have maybe brick and mortar stores. Your online sales are really going crazy. At what point do you sit back and you're like, okay, I've like accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. Now everything is just extra. Do you ever think you'll get to that point, or you're just like, I'm just hungry for the next thing that comes?
I 100% think I will have brick and mortar stores, brick and mortar like studio buildings for my brand, and online sales busing. I think all of that will happen. I'm not sure. I think by the time I'm ready to have a family, I might look at things a little differently. Like, okay, how can I maybe change the gears on this to where I could spend time with my family and raising my children when I have some, because that's really more important to me. I love this stuff. I was given these gifts and this voice to do what I like and share that with people, but ultimately I think when I'm ready to have a family, things might change a little bit.
Now, going on that topic a little bit more, at what point do you think you'll be ready to have a family? What do you think it's like a certain age? Do you like have to make a certain amount of money? Is it a combination of both? Like, at what point you're like, okay, I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to get the party started.
Get the party started. I like that. I think I will know when it happens. I will just know when.
I think it hits everyone a certain way.
Yeah.
I personally do not have any standard of money or success in my brain to where I'm like, okay, now I want to have kids.
Yeah.
I also think when you plan stuff like that, God kind of laughs at you. I don't know if it's God laughing at you, or I don't know if it's life laughing at you.
We plan, God laughs. Yeah.
But I think that I want to be stable. I want to be able to give my children a healthy lifestyle and make sure they have everything that they need. So that's important, making sure that I do have enough.
Yeah.
But I also think having enough time is important too. That's why I said I might change the gears, because I need to make time for what's really important.
Time's like the only thing you control, it seems. We talk about it a lot, like how important like family and like finding like your tribe kind of is, you know, and it seems like you really have like that going on. You have so much like organic support. You got your closest friends involved. You got, you know, like your mom involved, all that. That's all good stuff, you know. I think that's the most important thing in this world.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't, it seems like they don't agree with that nowadays, you know. just life moves so fast to focus on a number of different things that in the end, do they really matter, you know?
Yeah, like you were saying, I think finding like your tribe, like the people that you're close with, I think that's like 100%, like, I wouldn't say 100%, 99% of the key to how you're going to live your life, who you're going to surround yourself with, kind of like what we consume, like music and food-wise. I think the people that you're around, you have to, like, obviously, like, us being mostly, all of us are all males, like, having that alpha mentality of, like, you know, go out and do this, like, go to the gym, make sure you're doing stuff, like, work-wise, you know, building relationships, like, trying to network
Be a
some
good
sort of way.
person.
Yeah, being a good person, like, you know, breeding positivity. I think that's, like, what a lot of people are missing nowadays, especially, like, our society and our culture here, like, specifically in America is. It's like we're more divisive than ever. And I'm only 24, but, like, I remember being, you know, in high school, everyone was a lot more, like, not necessarily open, but a lot more, like, friendlier. You would walk into stores, people would say hi and stuff, but now it seems like everyone's so, like, individualized, and it's just, I think it's just going downhill.
I feel that everyone is scared.
Yeah.
We're made to feel like scared, like, oh, you can't say hi to this person, what if they're gonna go kidnap me? And that is very real.
Yeah.
I want to say that stuff is very real, but I even struggle with that sometimes. Where I'm like, okay, like, I'm okay, I'm protected, everything's fine. But it has to do with what we consume. It really does. And all of the top trending things are honestly scary. Like Squid Games, like that is that is
I never
intense.
watched it. Was it
That
good?
is
never watched
crazy.
it?
Was it good?
Yeah, you gotta watch it. I think you
seen
did.
it.
I think
But
you can handle it.
Yeah, everything really has to do with violence and scaring and making us feel like we don't have enough. And this planet is an abundant planet. Not saying that there aren't places that do not have what they need, because that is very real, but we can get it there.
Right.
It's just a matter of who controls that stuff.
Yeah.
Really.
And you went to the Catholic school growing up, right?
I went to public school,
okay.
and then I was homeschooled, and then I went back to public school, and then I went to Catholic school.
Okay.
Oh, so you've had like all three different.
And I was homeschooled by my mother and online.
Okay.
So I've like done all.
She's had all
Yeah.
different types of the school.
So now, all right. So let's break it down a little bit. Your public school, like what grades did you go to public school?
Kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then middle school.
Okay. Now, how is your experience different from being in a public school to a Catholic school? Like, how were the people different? How were the teachers? Like, what was like the most like stark difference? Like this, they had this, but this one definitely didn't have this.
I'm not sure. I think my high school experience at the Catholic school was a lot more family oriented. Everyone was close.
Tight knit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how Joe's is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was close. No one really was a bully. There were like mean people, you know, but at the end of the day, no one was a bully to each other.
Most people
It's
were
like brother
cool.
and sister arguments. That's kind of what went down. Whereas in my public school, it wasn't really always that way. A lot of people didn't see things the same way, and that's okay. People at my high school didn't either, but I think it was a lot more crude, rude.
Yeah.
We're also 13 and 12 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's kind of peak age of sass attitude.
Yeah, right when you're starting to develop it.
Yeah.
Me and him always talk like where do you think people get their morals from, or what do you think's like important? So you went to Catholic school, you went to public school, you went to homeschool. What do you think, like moral wise, you think it's just like you learned with your family, like no matter what, it didn't matter what school you went to, or you think your experiences kind of maybe changed you a certain way?
I think both.
Yeah.
My family, they've been a great influence on me, and many other people, like my friends as well. They have mentioned that. They're also very open and loving and not closed-minded. I feel like they'd be open to receiving different points of view and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm very blessed to have grown up in that way. Also, my experiences has definitely shaped the way that I view things and my morals. I grew up Christian, so I grew up knowing God and trying to get a relationship with Him, stuff like that. So just honoring kindness and love overall.
Do you think a lot of people now are morally bankrupt? People have no morals. It's kind of me versus the world.
I shook my head, yeah, but then I was like, oh, I don't think I should say yeah to that, because I think a lot of people are missing some bigger pictures just because they're, like, consumed with things that are very shallow. But I think it's just because of a lack of information. They were never told otherwise. They were never told there's a different way to view things. So I never want to blame people for their ignorance, because if you knew better, you would do better. But if you don't, how would you?
Yeah.
You know? That's also a part of Let Them Know that I wanted to mention earlier. Like, inform people on things. Educate. So, yeah.
I like to, yeah.
What do you want to mostly educate people about?
Our time is valuable.
Strong. I like that.
I think about time, like, just so much. Like, just, I don't know, in different ways. Like past, future, whatever. Even this, what we're doing right now. It's just very, like, strange, like, how time just, I don't know, it sounds so fried, just how it works. You know what I mean? You could be dwelling on something, 10 years old, or, you could be thinking about something that's not going to happen for another 10 years, like, but, like, the time we have now, like, I think Jay-Z just said in an interview, he's like, really, that's the only thing you control. Like, that's the only thing I control. I'm a billionaire, and that's all I control, really.
Wow.
That's just, I don't know why, that just always stuck with me.
Wow.
It's a freaky thing.
Yeah, it is very, like, out of the ballpark to think about. It's like, wow. It's like a little philosopher moment.
Because you think you have all the time in the world, really, but it's like, the older you get, it's just, it's shrinking in a sense. For everybody.
100%. Now, is there one person in particular, like a celebrity influencer, that if you seen them wearing your clothes, you'd be like, holy shit, like, that's, like, you're calling everyone you know, you're calling Connor, you're like, Connor, he fucking did it, he did it. Who's that one person?
I have a feeling that she's not a big, like, celebrity person.
Not a big.
I was going to say LeBron.
Yeah. Okay,
LeBron?
that's fair. That's fair.
I think that would be super cool.
That'd be just like a shock. Like, you open your phone up and, LeBron's just out, like, one of your shits on you. You'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah. Or girls, I would say Hailey Bieber.
Okay.
I think that would be awesome.
That'd be so random.
Yeah.
I like that.
She's cool. I love what she stands for. So.
Do you know Anthony Turk?
Yeah.
You went to school with him, did you not? Yeah. So he has nuclear printing. Do you ever do stuff with him or anything? Or?
I have. I've gotten shirts printed with him before in August.
Yeah, I was wondering. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's very nice.
Now, do you think, like, obviously being a clothing company, what do you think is weighted more? Do you think it's, like, the networking side, working with, like, printing places and shoots and people that are photographers and stuff like that? Or is it strictly just social media? I have to advertise myself in some sort of way. Like, what do you think is more valuable?
No, I'm sorry. You go. I'll ask that.
Relationships to me are the most important. Having good relationships with people, whether that's someone that you can work with or just your consumers, people who buy from you, because that's what lasts over time. And also, if someone remembers having a good interaction with you, they're probably going to be more inclined to maybe support you or do it again, rather than if you were extremely rude to someone, you're not going back.
Right.
So I think relationships are the most important, whether that is through social media or in person. I personally think in-person connections are more valuable, but they're both important. They're both important, especially in this world. It's kind of hard to get rid of the social media aspect because it's a free tool and it's extremely helpful for businesses.
What do you think for your own business and your own brand? Do you think word of mouth spreads more than online stuff, or do you think it's like the opposite? Or is it more so a little bit of both?
I think for my personal brand and experience, word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because I've never done any paid advertisements or anything like that. And I have had, I would say, pretty good success so far. So it's really just, I think my relationships that I've had and developed with people prior to...
Those go a long way.
Yeah. And even talking to people maybe a few years ago, telling them what I wanted to do, and then them seeing it. Maybe we haven't talked since then, and they're like, oh my gosh, she did it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's really cool. So I would have to say word of mouth.
What qualities do you like? You know, you're going to like meet with someone, whether it's like just meeting with friends or like on the business side of things. Like, what qualities do you like really look at in a person to know like, okay, this is the person I want to work with or interact with or build a relationship with?
So I haven't worked with many people so far because I kind of wanted to make sure I have my own stuff figured out before I tie other people into the mix.
Right.
But definitely professionalism, just respect.
Yeah.
I think it boils down to respect in friendships as well. Respecting your time, making sure like you're on time. If you can't make it, you communicate that.
And I will say the record shows she was early by like 20 minutes. She was on time.
We were
which
actually
I respect. Yeah, we were.
But you guys were good. You guys were.
We were trying.
We were trying.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people are better with time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, others are not.
Yeah. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
Mark 'em.
But I definitely think that is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. If I'm gonna work with someone, it's all gotta line up. You know what I mean? And that goes for anything you really.
I mean, we only met. How long have we known?
Yeah, I've only known him for maybe a year almost.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet?
We were golfing.
Cool.
Did we meet golfing?
Markham, yeah.
Like I always knew like he did music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was just never. I'm not a big like rap person. I'll be honest. Like it's never really been like my thing. Like obviously I knew who Magic was and him making music and stuff like that. But I never really like talked to him, reached out to him, anything like that. And I think it was Mike.
He linked us.
Yeah, shout out Mike.
Again.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. So only a year, and now we're working together. I mean, like I said, he's one of my best friends. I mean, I like him as a brother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that because we're on camera. It might change once we get off.
No, we like each other.
For the most
It's
part.
all genuine.
Yeah, I could feel it.
And we have new friends we meet, like you and some of our other guests, you know what I mean?
Right, like a couple of people that he's gonna bring on, like I've never
Yeah.
met once in my life.
Yeah.
I've only seen on
And
Twitter
vice
and stuff
versa.
like that. Yeah, like with Roland and stuff like that.
So
So it's cool to branch off and stuff like that. Like I'm sure like when we post this, like there'll be people that from our side that like will reach out and be like, oh wow, I never even knew like she existed, and then like vice versa. So it's cool how the universe works.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I think it's always
Connected.
interesting. Yeah, like just being a creative, it's really crazy, like where the different just roads and places you could ever find yourself. Like, I'm sure he knows and you know and I know. It's just it's a fun thing, you know.
I gotta ask you one question.
Yes.
What do you think happens when we die?
Ooh. Oh, so this is just insane. I've had many different ideas, I guess I could say. Even since I was younger, I would think about this a lot as a kid. I know that might sound scary, but I've always been very curious and
like, where'd they
intense. Yeah. I would be in the shower. I remember thinking so one day you just see black for the rest of time and you don't even know that time's going on. So, I don't know. I think we all go in a waiting room at some point, basically. Yeah. And some people go to heaven. I guess some people go to hell.
What do you think?
I think it also boils down to our decisions, though. We can decide.
So your life actions determine what
100%.
So going with a Puritan mindset that they have like a predetermined destiny.
Yeah.
Like you're born and you're going one way or the other, no matter what. Do you think let me back up a little bit. Do you think there's a predetermined destiny, like the Puritans believe? Like once you're born, Janessa, you're already on this track, no matter what you do in your life. Or do you think your life actions dictate where you go?
I think our life actions dictate where we
Yeah.
go. I think I don't know, maybe a general idea.
There could be a destiny for us.
Yeah.
But we might not hit everything, or we might not. That's how I look at it. More so a general course. Yeah.
But I think you could wake up one day and choose, okay, I want to kill everyone in sight and do all these things and make people feel my pain, feel what I felt, And I feel like, okay, well, obviously it's not really the best thing. So you might go to hell or something. I don't know. I'm just a girl, a 21-year-old girl. What do I know? But I do think our actions are important. I think that we're here to spread light and information and love to people. I just always kind of want to leave the space better than it was found.
Right.
So I think if you do that, you shouldn't worry about where you're going. You'll be okay. And I think some people may feel the opposite. They kind of want to bring everything down. And that's okay. I'm not here to judge, but just the differences that I have noticed.
What do you think? Aliens, they're real or not?
Yes.
See?
All right, you're on the right track.
Aliens are real.
And I was going to ask, like we were talking before, is do you let, like, politics affect your life, or do you kind of just, like, block out most of it? You're living your life no matter what, you know what I mean? Like, do you let things you see in the news really, like affect your life in a sense, if you know what I mean?
I would say it would be foolish for me to be like, no, it doesn't affect me at all, because it definitely does to some degree, whether it's just like
no matter who
my mood for the day.
Yeah.
Like, in some way it affects me. But I definitely make a conscious effort to not let it affect me, especially if it isn't directly yet, or whatever it may be, directly affecting me. I try to get off of looking at those things and pray about it. Go to the park or something like that.
It's better than reading about it.
Yeah, going to play catch or something. I don't know. That's what I would rather do. And pray about it and know that everything will work out in the way that it's supposed to. I do believe that we have a say and a choice, though. Like, it's important to use our voices and actions, but after you do those things, no more worrying about it. Give it all up.
Only more people felt that way. Can't let it ruin your day.
You can't.
But it happens.
A lot better place.
Yeah, you cannot, because once you give your power away, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're seriously screwed. So you can control the mood that you're in.
They're occupying your mind and heart. They got you. They hijacked you. Yeah, I feel it.
That's like sending the message that that's more important than how you feel. Yeah.
I got one more question. Do you think humans are naturally born good, or naturally born evil, or blank slate?
I loved talking about this in school. When I was in high school, I remember this specifically. I think I used to feel like people were born blank slate. I kind of still do. But lately I've been working with children a lot, and I think children are just so pure. And they are just light beings of this world. Yeah. And they're always so sweet. They always have a good read on people. And I think, so I guess I would say naturally good. But our experiences and things that happen to us do shape.
Like nature and nurture. That plays a big part.
I feel like no one was born evil or bad. But I think there are things, even genetically, that have happened to the parents that get passed down. Yeah. That's a big thing. Trauma is like in your DNA.
Right.
So, but I don't think anyone is born necessarily evil.
So something has to make them that way. Like somebody had to have shaped them or put that into them in your eyes.
And also, even like if we're looking at it from a spiritual perspective, like Adam and Eve, like their sin affects everyone else that exists. So I think we're naturally good. We were created with the intention of being good people, but there are things that have happened that maybe aren't so good, that hinder us.
Do you think people can redeem themselves? Like a person who gets sent to prison, murders a whole bunch of people. Do you think there's any salvation for that person?
100%.
Yeah.
That's what I told him when he asked me. He's like, what do you think about even someone like Hitler or something? Like, do you think they could possibly be saved? I said, yeah, I do, because that's my belief with it. As awful as people are, what they do, if they really believe and they felt sorry or whatever it is, anything's possible.
I just want to know at what point does that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like in the Hitler example, killing 6+ million people. That's at what point does the slate get wiped clean, and then you're on the better side of humanity, morality?
We'll never know.
I feel like that the reason that's very hard for us to understand is because we aren't in charge of wiping him clean. Like, there are thousands of people that will still never forgive him and will still be mad at him, but that doesn't mean that he is forgiven and he is redeemed. I believe that everyone has a chance to be restored, but it's just not us in charge of restoring him. So we'll never be able to.
It's up to God and him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I try to tell him. Like, it's between you and God. And we always argue about, like, back and forth, like, you know, religion in schools and this and that. So he was saying, like, I'm gonna read the Bible or whatever, and I was saying, going to Catholic school, like, the Bible just wasn't really that big of a deal. Like, we would take passages out of it and this and that, but I think certain Christian people are way more into, like, Bible. Maybe you were yourself, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I was telling them, like, at school, like, the Bible wasn't the biggest.
Did you read the Bible in its entirety?
No, I've never read the full Bible.
I'd say most people haven't, to be honest.
I was asking, like, what's, like, the 3 books? Like, obviously, you know, there's, like, Luke, Michael,
there's
John,
a bunch,
and all that kind of stuff, like, Old Testament, New Testament. I always wanted to know, like, if you just had to give me 3 books out of it to, like, maybe convince me or maybe change my mind or open my mind in some sort of way, what would they be?
So, that's a good question, because I've never, like, read it with the intention of, just convince someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I could tell you some that I enjoy.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Proverbs, that's a great one. They say you should read one every day. Like, there's 31 of them or something.
And a proverb's a certain, it means something, right? Like, I'm trying to think of the word. Like, it's like, aren't they like stories, kind of?
Yeah, I guess everything in the Bible is technically a story. But wisdoms, I guess. Smaller wisdoms.
Yeah.
I like Proverbs a lot. I like Psalms. Those are like songs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And what's another good one? First and Second Chronicles. Or Corinthians.
See, she knows her shit.
Yeah. No, I like Corinthians a lot. After this, I could get my phone and maybe show you some few things. So I have them written down. I honestly don't know off the top of my head.
You revisit some passages and, you know, they really mean something to you, right?
Yeah, especially this past week, I was just working at a teens camp at my church. So I was in my Bible a lot and would see things that I had highlighted in the past. And I'm like, oh, totally forgot about this. This is really good.
Right, this is a good one.
Yeah, like I felt this in the moment.
Yeah,
I wish I actually brought my Bible so I could show you because it's actually cool. It is excerpts that talk to you, not just strictly Bible.
Yeah. Even after the sentence, I'll be interested to see, because like I said, I don't really, like, not trying to be mean or anything, I don't share the same belief that you guys do, but I'm always open to interpretation.
Yeah, he was baptized
That's not mean.
and whatnot.
I was baptized.
Mean.
Yeah.
I was baptized.
You're okay.
Yeah. There's different levels to everything, you know. Like, it's all about you and your relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I said, I want to read, like, all, you know, like, I want to read the Old Testament. I want to read them all.
Yeah.
That way I have, like, a better understanding of, like, how other people view the world and what, you know, they think is the true motion behind it. And, you know, what all goes into it, I should say.
I would say if you're more interested in, like, the creation, read the Old Testament.
Yeah.
If you're more interested in maybe how you should live your life, read the New Testament.
All right. Last question before the battery dies. You have one? So I got one letter.
What do you want to be remembered for the most, or like what's your kind of achievement you want to leave on this earth?
It's a big question. I just want to make a difference in people's lives in some capacity. I really, truly do. For the better. That's good to know. I want to make a good difference in people's lives.
I think that's already true.
Oh.
You know, evident.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks.
My last question would be, you make it, someone writes you a check for $100 million, you can go anywhere you want in the world. Where are you going to retire at?
Bali, maybe.
All right.
That's fair.
In one of those little tiki tree houses. I want to live in a tree house.
That's great.
Yes.
That's a good answer.
Yes.
It's gotta be something fun.
Oh yeah.
Bali, go club a little bit, you know, end of the night, come back to your treehouse.
I definitely want to live everywhere once though, if I can, or go there once at least.
Well, we appreciate it. We really are glad that you came on. You know, we're big fans of you, as you already know. And, you know, maybe we'll have you on again. This is our first video episode.
Yeah.
So we're glad it was a real good one with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thanks for reaching out earlier when you did. For the whole campaign stuff, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's why it stuck in my head. I'm like, this is one person I have to.
Oh.
You gotta meet. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for this opportunity. It was awesome talking with you.
Appreciate it.
I loved getting to know a little bit more about you guys.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It's really cool.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.